All right, this is day 3 now. I'm not really sure what to talk about today. It was just a lot of focus at work, very little time to really think at all, if I'm being honest. And anything I was thinking about probably wasn't very coherent or worth mentioning. I feel, and maybe it's the caffeine talking. I had a little bit of a caffeine boost halfway through the day. And it's funny because I've been a giant advocate on no caffeine, I don't want to be depending on, any type of stimulant during the day. But now I'm like, no, it's becoming nearly impossible without it. As terrible as that sounds, there's no way I can be a functioning member of society if I don't get a little boost at this point. But caffeine or not, I feel better, knowing this is a routine I have to do now. I know this is part of my path. I know it starts with doing stuff like this because it feels warm, it feels welcoming, it feels inviting. It feels like something I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm really grateful for that. It's really just about consistency now. It's about showing up. I have learned today with all my heart that I definitely need to quit this job. Once again, the goal is to eventually not have to rely on a 9 to 5 at all. But this job there are moments in life that are just going to humble you. And there's so many different ways for that to happen. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about. How humbling life can be and making peace with your own limits. Obviously, in a way that so many of us are humbled are just a lot of financial moments, a lot of moments where you realize you can't afford something or you're struggling this much and maybe you're a victim of comparing. But there are other ways, and especially as a man, us men are very prideful. We take a lot of pride in our work, especially if it has to do with physical labor. And for me, I'm recognizing that this is not something I can really do. This is not a line of work that I'm capable of ever being okay with, but also just physically, just admitting when you can't do something. And it's so funny because a customer a couple weeks ago, he comes in the store and, he's openly admitting that he's going to need a service guy to help him install something in his house because he just has to admit to himself sometimes that you just can't do it. And this line of work, a lot of guys are in this position where you try and figure it out in your home. There's this one sports player, I can't remember who it is, but he actually suffered an injury from trying to install a TV in his home or something. It's a lot of us men have to realize we have physical limitations as well. We'd all like to impress our lady and be able to say we can do any physical task that comes our way. But that's just not always the case. And I'm in a very humble position where I know I'm a good worker. I'm a great worker. I give everything I have. And I think a life lesson I'm learning right now is you can give everything you have and it still just not be for you. And it still might not be good enough. And I am really, really learning that for the first time in my life. Like, no, you can put all of your effort into something and it's just not clicking. It's just not clicking. And accepting that realization might be really hard for a while, but it's for the better. We might be infinite spirits, but we're still in this human form that we have to respect. We still have limitations. There are certain things that all of us, no matter what it is, we just can't do it. Especially in my line of work. I mean, I can't tell you how many people, I mean, I'm not going to act like it's a lie because I don't have many people around me, but heights is like just no, like it's not an option. For me, I really needed to leave my last job, and heights isn't always been like a red flag for me. And I was not fully understanding of exactly what I would be lifting with very little protection at the heights I'm at. It's one thing to think you're just changing some light bulbs. It's a whole nother thing to be lifting 50-pound fixtures and trying to be very technical and methodical in the air and trying to screw it. Like, know your limits. Know your limits. It's okay to admit when you tried your best and it's still just not for you. And it's never gonna be for you. That's where I'm at right now. That was my lesson for today. It was like there was a certain moment where I was really struggling up in the air, and I'm like, dude, you have to know when to call it. You have to know when to call it quits. And I'm there. I think it's a little tricky for me because I know right now they really need me at my job, but like, dude, I need to remember if they didn't need me anymore, they just cut me loose. These people aren't my friends. It's not my family. It's not relatives. It's life. They'll move on. As important and as great as I was at my last job, you know how fast they can move on? Like, there's always another worker willing to do your job. And you know what's funny? And your body and your thoughts tell you in so many different ways, like, when you're done. You know what's funny is I'm not even fearful of them firing me. I'm not even fearful of getting a conversation of like some sort of threat of like, hey, dude, it's just not working out. I almost welcome it. You always want security and you always want to be employed, but dude, I almost welcome it at this point. I don't care. That's how you know you're past your limit, right? When you're not even afraid of like losing security at your job. I can't tell you, I'm starting to daydream of my life again, making money, and I don't have to do this line of work. Like, I don't have to get up and, like, no. Be honest with yourself. It's very important. It's very important, especially as you get a little older. Like, you have to be honest on what you're willing and not willing to do, what you can and you can't do, what you want and don't want to do. You have to be transparent with yourself. If you can't be transparent with yourself, it is not possible to be transparent with anybody else. And when you're not being fully transparent with yourself, guess what that creates? Misery, sadness, anger, resentment, all of these things. Do yourself a favor. Start telling the truth. Start telling the truth with yourself. I've had to tell the truth with myself today. And caffeine or not, I feel a little bit more free. I just need to know now what that means going forward. Take care, guys.